Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. We've made it through the FOMC. We had some bounce follow through overnight, so our daily bounces are now underway. But the bulls are not completely out of the woods because we are just scouting daily lower highs to be the result of most of these bounces. I'll show you what that looks like on the charts and how we're going to use fib retracements to help gauge the most probable scenarios from here. So picking up from yesterday's video, we were looking for 4-hour tightening ranges and we ended up getting bull breaks rather than equilibriums. And the timing of news coming from Evergrande, we had some news out overnight to set the 4-hour higher low, and then we had some more news today right at our resistance level. Still keeping an eye on that situation, but the more you hear about it, the more you get those headlines, the more it gets priced in and the less price reaction you get to those headlines. So certainly not going to ignore the story, but at this point, for me personally, it would require China saying, good luck, Evergrande, we're not doing anything with you. And that would be a notable bearish reaction. But anything other than that, and for me, it's a lot less impactful than it was on the initial wave of fear. So with this 4-hour uptrend, we now zoom out and we look for daily lower highs. So that's what I mean when I say the bulls are not out of the woods yet, because one thing that the bears could do, which would really shock the bulls, would be confirm a lower high and lower low. Again, once our fear bottom is hit, we have been V-shaping right back to all-time highs. That doesn't mean we have to V-shape back to all-time highs this time around. You know, we can make our way up, just stepping with higher lows and higher highs and recover. But one thing that the bulls cannot do is let the current lows break. That will be extremely notable to us if we set daily lower highs on this bounce and confirm daily downtrends, breaking those supports. That will tell us this is not over, and it'll essentially be a new wave of fear. So you can feel the fear subsiding the last couple days, little by little, but on SPY here, I would still be considering anything under 452.57 a daily lower high. And again, if we're using our retracement levels to help determine what is the most probable scenario, we're looking at the high and the low here. We have seen a retracement of about 45%. This is the gray area. What does the gray area mean? It means we can still drop back down to a lower low, but the bears would have to show up with notable bear volume. We won't break that low without notable more than average bear volume. And if we get a bull move that keeps bouncing to 50% retracement, we are then creating the space for a daily higher low to form next time we consolidate. So the hourly uptrend is going to be a short-term guide for us to be paying attention to. And we're just watching now the higher low everyday pattern to see how long the bulls can keep that intact. There's a gap to fill at 441.02. Keeping an eye on that level in the short term. Did a little bit of trading on the FOMC reaction, but for me, it was mostly just hedging some exposure I have in USMJ. And for that, I was shorting the lower highs on this top. But by the end of the day, we closed with a 15-minute equilibrium and a bear break with a lack of follow through. So not a whole lot of clarity as far as how are we going to react to the FOMC here. We went bull, then bear, then bounced. So choppy in that regard, but most likely scenario on a ton of individual names is scouting daily lower highs. And it's just a question of how much retracement, how much bounce follow through do we see before those daily lower highs are set. NASDAQ futures, same thing. 4-hour trend change confirmed. Looking at it on QQQ, daily bounce underway. Gap to fill is 372.76. Just scouting a daily lower high to be the result of this bounce. And as far as the all-time high retracement, closer to 50%. And again, once you get to that 50% level, the probabilities that you set a daily high or low once you top out increase. And the only way that you break to that lower low is very notable bear volume. XLV is not really doing a whole lot. It held on stronger yesterday and it stood out as weaker today. And you can see the last 3 days, no major difference with where we are trading. So the burden of proof is still on the bulls in the short term here. We would have to see a bull break of 132.70 in order to see a little quick higher low and higher high. And then from there, we would zoom out to the weekly again. But there are still bulls, XLV and SPY, still trying to hold weekly EMA 12. We held it for the last 6 months, and we're under it right now on XLV, and SPY is still under it as well. So we would essentially need to see this bounce follow through for another couple days to hold that EMA 12. That's not entirely important to me because, again, you know, we could close under daily or weekly EMA 12 and then confirm a daily trend change next week. But it is something I'm keeping an eye on. Bigger picture. So bulls, let's say you have a long-term portfolio. You can be looking to hedge on this bounce. If you say, oh man, I wish I had more protection on this drop, that was really scary. This is your second chance as far as being able to establish a hedge position into this bounce to try and protect long positions that you don't plan on selling. XLF was a bounce leader today. Big time bounce. Got a hummingbird right in front of me. So on that, I'm looking at this high of 38.28. The bounce has been very significant, almost to 618. We did see hourly consolidation into the end of the day, but lots of space for a daily higher low to form compared to 36, which is our low. And the amount of space that we have here, just looking at XLF from where we closed, currently 3% above the low. And if we're looking at SPY from where we closed, it's more like 2% above support. So the bulls have more space to work with because they've seen more bounce follow through at this point. Gap to fill would be 37.48 if the bulls show up again tomorrow. IWM, also a lead bouncing bull. Why? Partly to do with the fact that XLF is its larger sector holding. So generally when XLF is having a good day, IWM is having a good day as well. Keep in mind we're watching for growth names to try and set weekly higher lows. And the bounce at this point, significant daily lower high resistance is 223.34. But again, the space is being created for a daily higher low to try and form once we top out to try and set up a daily trend change for a weekly higher low to be set. Biotech sector, not doing a whole lot, but it too is looking for a weekly higher low. We know TAN is looking for a weekly higher low. They had a good day today. We know ARC is looking for a weekly higher low. So this isn't going to be resolved this week. We're going to have to see all these growth names follow through next week with these bounces for weekly higher lows to be established. And we have some really nice equilibriums on ARC and TAN that could take until mid to late October before we get a clear break. MSOS, MJ sector stood out today for the bulls. So reacting to the fact that the SAFE amendment is added to the House NDAA bill that needs to be voted on, but there's still a lot of hurdles before it would get passed by the Senate, and that may take a couple months, but it's a short-term catalyst here that has led to a daily trend change, but we need follow through. We've got the volume, twice the 20-day average volume the last couple of days, but the last thing the bulls want to see is a confirmed daily trend change straight into consolidation. So we need to keep this move going, 32.07, 32.36, but the big level for me is 33.46 from here, which is our weekly little lower high on this last bounce attempt. And even the Canadian MJ names were getting involved today. CGC inside bar bull break, it was up 6% plus, but still in a clear daily downtrend. So nice to see some green on the day and nice to see some daily trend changes in the US MJ sector, but have to see IWM and the broader market continue to hold gains and continue to alleviate the fear that we started this week with. SMH is a sector that's holding on well. Weekly EMA 12, weekly uptrend, daily bounce, gap fill back to the upside, creating the space for a daily higher low to form. Once we top out, the bulls will have to confirm a daily trend change back in their favor. But let's look at a couple names that have solid weekly charts in the face of this fear this past couple weeks. SMH is one of them. Netflix, weekly bulls buying the dip. Netflix today broke to the highest price that we've seen in almost 2 weeks. So Netflix weekly chart is healthy. Google weekly chart, EMA 12 support and still an uptrend. So definitely a lot of names that are positioned well for bulls if the broader market can continue the bounce from here. And looking at the dollar's holding on strong here. And this is one concern that the bulls have, because again, if you're a broader market bull or a commodities bull, you want to see the dollar weak. And the dollar reacted bearish and then V-shaped recovery. And here's the dollar trying to confirm, well, it did confirm a daily bull flag, but trying to break 93.73 to follow through on a breakout. And again, if we get over 93.73, it's the highest level that the dollar has seen in 10 months. So that would be notable to us. And that's just having us remain, okay, we got to stay a little bit cautious here. Because again, a couple green days and it's easy to forget where we just came from on Monday. But not going to forget that daily lower highs are the most likely scenario. Keep in mind, I was looking for daily lower highs on these bounces, at least some of the bigger ones. And SPY just did not set them. And it was just the slow grind back up. Well, really the fast grind initially, and then the slow grind continuation. So keep in mind that SPY does not trade like a normal stock. It does not follow the same rules. It does not need notable volume to go up, but it does need notable volume to go down. So the key takeaway from here on many names, we're scouting daily lower highs. The losses of hourly uptrends will be the first indication that daily lower highs are being set. Bulls that missed an initial attempt to hedge their position, or bears that missed the initial drop, they're scouting these daily lower highs. If we're going to break the lows, and those key lows, the lows of Monday, are our must-hold levels for the rest of the month into October. If they're going to hold, if they're going to break, they will not break without notable bear volume. Watch volume on a daily basis, because if we do not see notable bear volume, it keeps the bulls comfortable. And those are the clues that we're going to be looking for. So, into tomorrow, goal for the bulls, hold the low today, keep the daily bounce going, keep creating space for the daily higher low to eventually form once this bounce does top out. And we'll take it one day at a time. Have those game plans established. And you can have two different game plans. You can be bullish. I am bullish SPY on the monthly time frame. Am I convinced that that low is now set and it's a monthly bull flag? No. I know it's a possibility, but I need more information. Even if we see another leg down, I will be bullish on the monthly time frame on SPY unless we break 400. So drop another 10% from here, and that will shift for me, obviously. But anything less than that, and I am bullish the monthly. But I am scouting a daily lower high. I have different outlooks based on different time frames because different time frames have different most likely scenarios. And that's something that you want to have as a trader. Different outlooks based on different time frames. I put out a trade review video in its own little video for LCID for an oversold bounce trade I made today, so check that out if you're interested. Crypto video out today as well. Crypto space has been bouncing notably over the last couple of days, but it's really correlating to the broader market. And we'll check back in soon. And I'm going to try and put out an MJ video this weekend, but I am headed to the beach. But I will bring my mic and put that out at some point. Have a good close to your week. Oh, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow. Do good things.